Okay, Lisa, you're live.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Autism BC Connects today. I'm Lisa Watson, the Regional Interior Coordinator out of Kelowna. And today we're going to talk about some recent back to school announcements, some concerns that families have that have kids with diverse abilities about going back to school, remote learning options. So we are going to begin that now, and we're lucky to have with us today one of our board members at Autism BC, Kaye Banez. Kaye, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it is a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So just a little bit of a background about Kaye. Kaye is a mom to 2 children. One of them is on the autism spectrum. She is a board member for Autism BC. And last week, she wrote a letter to Minister Fleming, the Minister of Education, about remote learning and what were the possibilities for kids with diverse abilities going back to school. She's advocating for an inclusive education system for all of our students. And she's also created with Autism BC a petition about making sure that families that have kids with diverse abilities are going to have equal access to education as well. So Kaye, thank you so much. Excited to hear more. I know you've been in the news a lot lately. You've been very, very busy.
It's very tiring. Honestly, it's exhausting. I mean, the day-to-day is already challenging, but we just felt compelled, first as a family to speak up. And then when we went through this whole process of, hearing about the back to school plan a couple of weeks ago, and then finding out exactly how that's going to affect not just our family, but so many other families in similar situation. I really, I talked to, Autism BC, and I said, can we do something about this as an organization? Usually we're positive and we do things for informational purposes, but at this point, with so many parents involved, and that it really it can really disadvantage a lot of families, that we decided to create the letter on behalf of Autism BC, explaining to the minister our position. Lazarus is my child. He's my eldest. He's 8 years old. He's going into grade 3. We go to an independent school here in Richmond right now. I don't know if that will be the case this fall. But I guess like for us parents, like we share a commonality that, some of our kids on the spectrum cannot adhere to the safety guidelines, right? Which means like for Lazarus, it's just he will touch everything and he will put everything in his mouth with no concept of what is dirty, what is not, what is safe, what is not. And like a hands-on support from EAs, that's great that he has that hands-on support for the EAs, but that hands-on support also scares the living of me, right? Because there's other people touching my child. So that's really what scared me so much, that it's just impossible. Other layer of complication is that I'm immunocompromised with diabetes. The only bubble we have are grandparents who are immunocompromised. And, I have a daughter too, that I am trying to protect, right? So this is something that we wrote on the letter, that we are asking for a remote learning option. And the reason why we focused on that option is because when you look at the process of what you go through, so back to school plan, I cannot send my kid to school because of safety reasons. What are my options, right? What can I do then? I'm definitely not ready to send them to school, no matter what, or him or her. What can I do? What do I do now? So according to the ministry, this is what they said, is that, well, you will withdraw from the school, and you have 2 options, which is a DL school, a distributed learning school, or you could do traditional homeschooling through Section 12. So I called every single DL school, independent, public, they're full. I was in the middle of an application to one of the schools, and they closed it on me in the middle of my application. As if you're an autism parent, right? And you know how many forms you have to fill out, scan, and send. So that took, like, just to get all the documents ready, took like 45 minutes. And by the time I was ready to hit submit, they've closed the applications.
How frustrating. Oh my goodness. Kaye, I'm just going to interrupt you for a minute just to do some housekeeping here. So anyone who's joining us, this will be recorded. So if if you live in the real world, like Kaye and myself do, I see children running around there. So if you live in the real world, you can come back and watch at your leisure. Kaye has also mentioned if we see children and she has to leave momentarily, that again is the real world, and we appreciate that. So if you have any questions for us, you can write it in our comments. We will try our best to answer. We're still learning as we go. No one has all the answers, I think, and there's a lot of confusion for parents and among everyone right now. So if you do have any questions, you can also email us at AutismBC, hello@autismbc.ca. We will be posting some links to some resources as well as the link to the petition that Kaye and Autism BC has created. So yeah, sorry, Kaye, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted, I know you're so passionate about this that.
Yeah, no, it's just so basically where we're at, like where we're actually at now. So after writing this letter and calling a whole bunch of people and calling our MLA, who was very helpful in sending out the media, the letter and us getting this media coverage, then writing this petition. Where we are at now is that the minister did an announcement today. So first, when we were calling our school districts, we were told that it's not our decision, that basically this is all in the hands of the ministry, right? So you have to take it up with the ministry. So I actually called the deputy minister's office. That's where they forwarded me to, the deputy minister's office. And then like a day later, somebody called me, a policy analyst there, saying that, yes, it's confirmed, it is the ministry's decision. So I really focused on that, because that will make, if we were to go to the individual districts, there's a lot of them, and plus if it's the ministry's decision, it's the ministry's decision. So so that's why we came up with, for all students really, that we're not just going to accept for some or for certain situations. This is for all who need it, because the last thing we want are students being displaced out of their school community, being kind of discriminated because they cannot, basically you're already in the current school and you're being kicked out. Basically, that's what it is. And the options of a distributed learning program is really kind of not there because they're full. And even if they say, well, there's wait list, you're still put in a limbo, in a black hole where you don't know whether you're going to get accepted or not. And to add on to the layer of complication, that's my theme today, the layer of complication, is that if you do traditional homeschooling, you lose the autism funding that goes to the school, which is such a big deal, because then now as a parent, you're not able to access that. Now I think it's 20,400, but oh, there's my kid. But it's, I asked for $16,000 because we have 6,000 now, and we were getting $22,000 before our child turned 6. So that was why I said 16,000, but some parents were like, it's actually 20,400, okay, so it's more. So that's the whole idea of the petition, how it came about. Now, where we are at, the minister is now saying that actually now I'm washing my hands off of this, and it's now all the district's decision. It's up to the districts to decide to offer the options.
Yeah, I listened to the announcement today too, and just to make sure, I kind of knew what was going on, but again, still learning. But it did sound like if you had questions, you were supposed to address your own school district. Yeah. And it sounds like some school districts, have been following a few Facebook groups, are saying that there will be a remote learning option. One of our colleagues on the island said that hers isn't providing that for kids with diverse abilities unless you're immune compromised. So, and what have you found out then about your own district?
It's all over the place. So I got a big blow this morning, because this morning a parent sent me a message saying, oh my gosh, it's up on the website, the current plan, and it looks like there's remote learning for Lazarus at least. So I looked it up, and it says remote learning for children with IEPs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. But then there's a Stella. So of course I emailed the principal and I said, thank you, I'm very grateful for Lazarus, but what about my daughter, because I'm immunocompromised, and can accommodation be made? And so, we went through the day thinking, okay, at least one of my children, but it's not enough because we want all children, because I've been watching closely, what the other school districts are doing. And I just got even more and more upset that this is not provided for all. The petition says provided for all to be truly inclusive. So,
right. Yeah. And I think, yeah, like when we say all, we mean all diverse abilities, not just autism. Yes.
It's pretty much like an option for all, because you have to look at it in like, not just kids with special needs, not just autism. It's like for all who need that accommodation. I mean,
Right.
some could say that I have really bad anxiety, and like the thought of it will send me to the emergency room because I can't breathe. I mean, that should be enough reason too, so that their children can be accommodated, because a parent is like, extremely like troubled by that, right? So I think, and then hearing the minister say that that they can, as a province, they can provide this accommodation. They have enough funding, and special needs kids are their priority, and yet some of the districts are still not offering it. And the major, like Vancouver School Board, Surrey School Board, Richmond School Board, some other school boards are offering it, then why not the other districts? And so as far as our advocacy is concerned, I just want to make sure that the parents know that, we will continue on with this petition. We will continue to put pressure on ensuring, like making the government really think twice about leaving this all for the school districts, and ensure and mandate for all students a remote learning option. I don't know, I can't tell you what the next steps are. It's just, I could say that, please watch the news, because I did have a Global is doing a story about it at 6 o'clock.
Today.
That's what
Yeah.
they said. Although the news, you don't know what they're actually going to cover, but that's what they said. And we may have to start contacting more people. So I think there's a question about where else can people turn for advocacy. So I think what the minister was saying is that they can provide flexibility if the parents go and talk to the school districts. I hate to say this, but it sounds like the fight then turns towards the school districts for us, like that we have to then try to get this accommodation. I guess there's other, at least other organizations.
And Brock,
right now,
yeah, we're going to post our master blog list, which has some education advocacy resources, because usually Autism BC, we consider ourselves more information-based. We've got some different pillars, training pillar, a social and connection pillar, but I think it's just a different world now with COVID and back to school. So some of the really good resources that I always point parents towards are BC Ed Access. There's also Inclusion BC, ACT, Autism Community Training as well, Family Support Institute. Those are all really key players. The BC, I might get the name wrong, Parents of Complex Kids as well. They all did that survey a few weeks ago about, what do you feel like you have a child with a diverse ability, what are you comfortable with going back to school? Asking a lot of those questions, and there was a lot of responses. They had 1,100 responses in 2 days. So there's a lot of organizations that are definitely advocating for our children as well, and now Autism BC as well. But I think I feel just as confused as you, Kaye. So I don't really know what our school district looks like for my son this year.
Right. So it's very for me, like I'm going to try my very best to keep pushing the government to ensure this for all kids, that to go back and say, well, if you're already allowing, and you said that you can support the school districts in providing this remote learning option, then why not just make it available for all, right? Like what is stopping the government to make this option available? Because it is just an option, right? Like people are not mad, like they don't have to choose it if it doesn't work for their families. So that's where we're at the moment, because we just got the announcement, we just heard about the announcement today. So it's really fresh right now. But like I said, if you feel like, okay, okay, I really need this accommodation to go to, I guess you could talk to your school principal first and see where they're at, like the school, if the school can make that decision. And, you know, stating what the minister has said about prioritizing special needs kids, about making sure that all kids can be accommodated, and citing different school boards allowing for this remote learning option. And then from there, if the principal says, well, you have to talk to the school board, then that's what we do at the moment. Like, I mean, if you just need to do something right now, I think based on what the minister said is that you know, call and talk to or email directly the people.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd say, like, if you're looking at doing something right now, sign the petition. We'll put the link in there. We'll make sure it's in there. Sign the petition. Be vocal, be respectful as well, though, but be vocal. And, you know, I think follow some of those other organizations as well. Like if you go onto their Facebook pages as well, BC Ed Access has great Facebook pages. They've got a private and a public forum as well. They're always posting really informative information. So I think, yeah, it's tough though, because you're a parent, so am I. You're tired probably. So it's a lot of work put on families with diverse abilities too, whereas we already have a lot on our plate, right? So it's just one more step, it feels like, I think.
It is. It's another, it's like just redirecting. It's like, okay, now you go talk to these guys. And that's what I mentioned that because they asked me that question. It's kind of like, you know, how do you feel about all of this? And I said, like, really, when they're saying prioritizing, it's actually not true, because it's almost like it's after we have been voicing out, more parents are voicing out kids with special needs. That's the only time that they now shift in, saying that, oh, actually we can provide this accommodation if the school district chooses to do it, you know. So I'm still in a way, like, that's just my own opinion. I'm still a little bit hopeful, because after this announcement, he did make those bold statements, and you know, and I feel like there's a chance that it'll change. I could only say that's my own personal opinion. I don't know, and I'm going to try my best to make that happen. But right now, like I said, Lisa and I saying, go straight to the principal and talk about, like, cite what the minister has said.
Yeah, and I think it's tough for sure. And I think everyone just, you know, no one really knows what's happening. We don't have the answers. Things are constantly changing. So we just need to be aware of that. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens in your story, and maybe we can do a follow-up as well, just to see, you know, where this leads with your family, because I think there's so many families right now in this position right now. So again, I would encourage people to sign the petition, to check out our master blog, which has a bunch of advocacy resources and links in there. If you have any questions and we haven't answered them, we're always available. The information officers and the regional officers, you can email us at hello@autismbc.ca. You can also find out more information about us at autismbc.ca. And we do need to just a little pump for Autism BC. We have our awards nominations for BC, the BC Autism Awards. The nominations are closing on Friday. If you know a hero in your world, feel free to nominate them. We are always looking for more people to recognize, and you can go to autismbc.ca and there should be a link there as well. And we also have a great raffle going on right now. We're very happy to have Applewood Motors. They've donated 2019 Nissan Kicks this year. So we're excited about that as well. The tickets are reasonably priced, and the money all goes towards funding our programs that we've got through Autism BC. Kaye, do you have any final words?
Yes, I think that definitely, I think, you know, the media is covering our story, and
yeah,
you know, I think that we do have a voice, because I'm just this mom in a townhouse in Richmond, you know, like, who's just getting by and who just had surgery a month ago, you know, like, I mean, I just being thrown into this, like, I'm still kind of like, what, not knowing anything about the school system in this way, right? Like in this aspect about policies and all this stuff, I had no idea. But you do have a voice, and please, like, you know, if the safety really, what I'm trying to say is that if you really feel that your child, will not be safe going back into the classroom, that that you do have a voice, and I am happy to support anybody. Look me up on Facebook. It's just Kaye Banez.
Oh no, you can't say that. You're gonna get so many
I
requests.
might not answer right away because right now I'm like completely frazzled and I'm trying to figure out. But like it's fine. If I can't handle it, then I'm gonna say talk to the information officer at AutismBC.
They can always email us as well, and we can gather questions, because I think a lot of families are going to have the same questions. And I think, we really appreciate you as a board member advocating as well, and as a parent, and you're very real. And I think even though I feel like I'm kind of in the know, and you probably feel like you're kind of in the know, I think we're all just kind of floundering right now and don't really know what's going on. So
like I said, it's all very fresh, and things are changing all the time. And so the more people who are really going to speak up and advocating for their families, like it'll catch on, like, because there's already a lot of interest.
Yeah, and for families that want to learn more, again, check out our resources. This will be recorded, so you can go back and watch it. If you have any questions, hello@autismbc.ca, or you can creep Kaye apparently on Facebook. And also tune in tonight, hopefully at 6 o'clock in Global News. We'll have the story about you. They came to your home today. So thank you.
Yeah. Reporter just actually texted because I did that amendment if I thought I had remote learning, but actually I don't. So I might have to get back to him ASAP to just go edit. Oh, well, we really appreciate you joining us today and talking about it, because you're one of many, many families out there that are they don't know what to do. So thank you, Kaye, and hoping you have somewhat of a relaxing evening. And we hope to follow up with you shortly as well about what's going on. So yes, if we have more information, then yes, we'll absolutely share it, in the form of Facebook Live or whatever it needs to be. But
for sure,
let everybody know that I haven't given up, and we will continue to try our best for the little munchkins that we have. So thank you.
Thank you, Kaye. Thanks for joining us today. So